Right decision, göre.
I should not be seen in this area.
Hey, what? What? I'll rally the troops. Bastard. You cannot get away. There you are. Hey, what?
Oh gods, smile upon my work, so that my name might remain enduring in this temple forever and ever.
Hey, you cannot escape.
Yeah.
So, this is how a dream dies. I could have built something to last an age.
And Goopa could have sung stories of your accomplishments.
There are things I regret. We all labor for higher powers. We are all enthralled to greater forces. There is no escape. I am but one in the Order of Ancients. This victory will bring you no peace.
It is not peace that I seek. It is not for my soul that I walk this path.
The Order of Ancients will remember me as the bringer of waters and the builder of cities!
Oh, the desert will blow in and scatter the dream of Letopolis like dust. Take care of him. Try to make him understand if you can.
You have brought blood and death to my house.
You are blind. But now you must open your eyes. Your husband was the Scarab. He did this. Your father was tortured and scarred by this man, as were so many others.
No!
It is up to you to raise your boy into the light, out of the blood and shadows of his father's legacy. I'm sorry, my son.
Taharqa the Scarab was Ubisoft's first attempt in Assassin's Creed Origins to create something that was slightly interesting, actually putting in some character work with Taharqa throughout this level. This is the first assassination that you get after the game has been given away about the Ancient Ones, and it turns out that the snake wasn't actually Uteros, the guy we had killed before this, but actually turns out to be the entire Ancient One Templar order in ancient Egypt. Bayek now has to kill about 6 or 7 other people on his way to getting final revenge for his son and allowing his soul to rest. So yeah, basically a less interesting ripoff of Kratos' revenge quest, which is just hilarious. Taharqa was the first one on the list and was actually the most interesting of the ones he had fought so far because we were introduced to him about 3 or so objectives before we actually had to kill him, and he actually comes off as a good guy and a great leader of Letopolis. Although he's having some familiar problems, the typical bandits have typically kidnapped them to do typically horrible things to them, and Bayek rushes to rescue him immediately, gets invited to dinner, and then immediately figures out that Taharqa is the bad guy because he poisoned Bayek with his dinner. Apparently none of his other family members actually notice him doing that, so it just kind of gets written off as Bayek being incredibly drunk, which is actually pretty easy considering Bayek is a giant goofball. But then Taharqa ties up Bayek and buries him in the desert. Yeah, I mean, it was actually an interesting turn of events. This was actually an interesting questline for Assassin's Creed Origins. Too bad it didn't last any longer, since after his horse, yes, his horse, frees him from the sand hole he got dug into, it was the basic assassination bit all over again. Except this time, rather than just wandering through town, Taharqa is hiding out at a local temple and has to be stealthed around with a ton of guards guards everywhere. The temples in this game are so tightly designed and over-patrolled that you most likely will just end up having to combat your way through and kill Taharqa through brute force, which is what happened in this video because I tried to be a bit clever with it and get on the roof, but the roof was actually one of the most guarded places in the entire temple, thanks to the guards having learned literally anything about guarding a building, unfortunately. And after that, I really can't remember what happened. I either did an air assassination on him or had to just try and hit him with a sword enough times for him to fall over dead. And then we get the usual post-death monologue, which actually meant something this time around because he did that thing where he buried Bayek in the desert and built Letopolis from literally nothing. It would have actually been an interesting story about a man so blinded by his ambitions that he couldn't see past the oppression that he was actually causing. Being a dictator and trying to make the best for his citizens, well, the best for his city, not his citizens overall, rather than actually being benevolent and just killing all the people who stood against him. It was an interesting premise, but like everything that Ubisoft touches, it basically just materialized into nothing at the end of it. There's no great learning experience. Neither side actually sees through to the other one's point of view, and it just ends up as the "you were the bad guy, I'm the good guy" sentence all over again. But that's the problem when you get slightly interesting from Ubisoft. They don't actually want to explore the thing that had potential to be narratively interesting. They just wanted you to do it for them because they were too busy, I don't know, making another bunch of trees to hang around the oasis so the sandbox looks slightly prettier than it did 30 seconds ago. How busy were you, Ubisoft, designing Assassin's Creed Origins to not actually use the good ideas you were having during the design phase? Like, this is a Memorpagroup-like game. The quests are the only thing that people are playing this game for. What else could you possibly be spending your time on? And we know you have the writers to back this up. You did Assassin's Creed Syndicate, so again, why is everything in Assassin's Creed Origins half-assed? I don't freaking understand you. Nothing you're doing is making any sense.